Hi folks, my name is Richard Byford, and today we are lucky to be interviewing the Mayor of Palm Springs, Mayor Steve Pougnet, who is known locally as the Green Mayor. He has agreed to answer some questions on green and sustainability. So let's get started. What do you think about sustainability? How did you get into going green, and has it always been a part of your life?
I'm not sure it's always been part of my life, but I grew up in Michigan, around water, around the Great Lakes. I grew up in the country, and so and moving here to the desert, it was very clear to me. It's such a beautiful spot, and this desert, before we planted the grass and the flowers and became valley cities, was desert. Of course, the agua calientes were here, and in Palm Springs, I've always been into saving as much water. I lived in Colorado, big water issues in Colorado. But moving here to Palm Springs 10 years ago, definitely it became something that I became and wanted to become involved with, because yes, we have a deep aquifer, but that's not the answer. I mean, we should be saving as much water as we can. When I had the opportunity as a city councilman to start talking about a sustainability commission, was really important to me. And then when I became mayor, one of my very, very first acts was signing the mayor's climate protection agreement. And what that I wanted that to do was, and the council did at the time, was to show the community that we cared. And it's important to care about our surroundings. We can't rebuild everything that we have here. And so that sort of started the march. And quickly thereafter, I started the city on this Palm Springs path to a sustainability community. And how I have done that, which is different than other cities, I embraced all of the organizations in the city. If we want to change behavior and get people to do things differently, it's not going to happen from the mayor and the city just saying, you got to do this top down. It's going to grow from bottom up, from neighborhood to neighborhood, and communities talking to each other and figuring out ways to do it. So within 3 or 4 months of me becoming mayor, we passed the thing called Palm Springs Path to a Sustainability Community, a 20-step program to reduce water and to reduce energy and cleaner air, change the procurement policies in the city of Palm Springs, to zero waste events, any event that may get city money. And we held an event, and I had members of the healthcare district, the water agency, Palm Springs Disposal Service, the tram board, both county supervisors. We came together. Everybody signed on to this pledge, and signed a 10 bullet initiative that they would be involved. And what we've done in Palm Springs, I have everybody, working on ways to be more environmentally sensitive. And it's working, 2 years into it. So I would say it's certainly something that I've been interested in. Once moving to Palm Springs, it was an absolute that this was really going to be important to me.
Actually, a couple of points that you just brought up, they were rather interesting, because as I go across the country speaking to various organizations and people, I find that a lot of people would just rather America was back where it was 25 years ago. Why is change so difficult in America?
I can't answer that question. I mean, change takes persistence. Change takes time. And I would hope, as we've seen what's happened in America, and let's perfect example, in the 70s, the Middle East crisis, President Carter brought forward some great plans to move this country to be more independent from foreign oil, to conserve. And we really never made any progress once 1980 hit. Here in the city of Palm Springs is a perfect example. We actually had an energy czar in the late 70s with an energy plan to become one of the most energy efficient cities in the country in 1978, 32 years ago. Imagine if we would have worked those plans 32 years ago today. So it takes time, it takes persistence. People are used to certain things. It's just difficult, but it takes time, it takes persistence, and you got to draw your vision. You have to have your vision and a plan to do it. And when you do those things, good things happen. I think we're trying to do that right now in the United States, and I certainly hope people remember. People need to remember. We need to become much more independent from foreign oil. We've got the resources here. We certainly have the technology, the entrepreneurship in this country. Let's put it to work.
But see, this leads into the next question. It's a short question with a very long answer. Why does everything we do in sustainability and green have to become political?
It shouldn't. And I will tell you, one of the things that I've quickly learned, everybody wants to green, everyone wants to have jobs, everyone wants to do A, B, C, and they talk about it. Talk is cheap in many sense. You have to actually start delivering on what you need to do. And here, yes, it's been politicized. Emails from scientists that might not be accurate all of a sudden makes people think there's no global warming. Well, you can go to Newfoundland and find out there are now flowers blooming in Newfoundland that have never been blooming before. There's openings in the Bering Sea that have never opened before. So clearly the temperature in the planet is warming. So it becomes very political. But when it comes down to jobs and creating jobs in a new industry where we can lead, and we should be leading, we've done it here in Palm Springs. We were just awarded a renewable energy innovation hub here in the city of Palm Springs. It wasn't political. It was an idea that was born actually here in Palm Springs, where we worked with economic development in Sacramento to talk about innovation hubs for the state of California. So there will be innovation, entrepreneurship within clean tech, renewable energy. The city of Palm Springs has been awarded only one of 6 innovation hubs in the country. Nothing political about it. The bottom line is it's good for the environment. It's good for the economy here in the Palm Springs and the Coachella Valley. So I think hard work and persistence will bring investment capital and do the things we need to do to make sure greening is the right thing to do.
So let's move forward 10 years. Where do you see America in 10 years? Do you think that we're going to come together as a nation and become more sustainable? Or do you think the other countries are going to, as they are now, overtaking us?
Obviously China is moving gangbusters on wind farms, the production of windmills and windmill parts, et cetera. Germany, I do think we're there. I think that it's very important. The governor and I, actually, the state of California, just 2 months ago, were standing in the windmill farms. I was there with the governor, did a press conference with the governor. He was talking, and this is part of a jobs bill that has been passed by the legislature in Sacramento, I might add, to eliminate sales taxes on anything green, renewable. That's important, very important first step up there. And I think we will. I think the independence of foreign oil, it is an energy issue. It is a national security issue, and I do think people get it. People may disagree, how we do it, but overall in this country, I think people understand the true need to do it. I think you will see more of the energy in this country produced by renewables. I think that's going to happen. If you look where we have come from even 10 years ago to where we are now, I'm sure we'll have leaps and bounds progress in the next 10 years. And I certainly hope we do, and I will certainly, and all the things I can do, continue to lead the effort to make sure that happens.
We'll go off script just for a second. I built the bleachers in the Palm Springs Convention Center for the World Wrestling Championships. And we put plastic on the carpet, and we built the bleachers, and we had trash containers, and we had recycle bins, overkill. Come in the next morning to take the bleachers down, and you couldn't believe the amount of garbage and trash underneath the bleachers. Now, are people just too lazy? Do they don't care? Or do they think they're entitled to do that because they know part of the price of the ticket is someone's going to sweep up after them? What do you think about that?
Well, I do think sometimes people are lazy to go down to the recycle bins or even understand what the bins are there for. The convention center, as you know, has made incredible strides. Everything they do now is sustainable and green. We've done things that they're saving the city hundreds of thousands of dollars now. It's educating some folks how important it is. I got a great example for you in Palm Springs. We have trash pickup twice a week. A lot of trucks on the road, twice a week. Since we went to single stream recycling a couple of years ago, the big blue bins, garbage intake has gone down dramatically. Recycling has gone up dramatically. And we've educated people in the city of Palm Springs, and single stream recycling has made a huge difference. Some of these folks may not come from single stream recycling communities where they all of a sudden find out you don't have 3 bins, you've got 1 bin. And this city is eventually going to be looking at 1-day trash pickup, which would be great for the environment, great for the city, and great for the consumers. So I think it's education. Some people are lazy, but don't forget, one of the most important things, and one of the reasons that I love to go around to schools, whether it's St. Teresa's or Cielo Vista or any other school in the school district, is educating the kids. So when you now talk to a kid, and one of the things I always like to start off, what do you do while you're brushing your teeth? I turn the water off while I'm brushing the teeth. And those are the things that may be small steps, but those kids are the future. They're the ones that are going to continue to care about the environment.
Well, we're running out of time here, and I appreciate your time for taking your time out of your busy schedule. A couple of minutes, just kind of sum up for me what you think is the future in sustainability and green, not just in Palm Springs, but nationally.
I think you will see more wind farms. I think you will see definitely more energy created. You are definitely going to see more cars, more electric cars. We were just awarded a great grant for a plug-in station. There's no doubt you're going to see that. Those prices of cars are starting to come down. Of course, General Motors is coming out with a $7,500 tax credit or federal rebate. but I think eventually, as there's more competition within that market, prices will eventually come down. You will start seeing more hydrogen stations popping up across the country, and it will continue to grow and to resonate faster in some parts of the country than others.
So you think people like us are being too impatient?
No, I don't think you're being impatient. I think it's listen, we're on the earth a limited time, and we all want to improve the quality of life in many different facets. And one is being greener and looking at the environment. So knowing that my kids or your kids, anybody's kids or grandchildren are going to look at the environment and go, what a beautiful spot. You don't want to lose that. And so it's part of our job, I consider my job, to safeguard the environment for the future.
Steve, thank you very much for answering all of my questions. I hope everybody thought that was very interesting. I really appreciate your time. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, folks. And if you'd like to ask questions or comment on this interview, go to the blog. You know the address, www.bywayentertainment.com. Thank you very much.